Have you ever read a book for months and you just seemingly feel like you're never going to finish? And you feel compelled to finish it. You put in all this effort, you've been on this journey, but sometimes you just have to know when to walk away. I'm starting to feel that way myself, and it is rare for me to give up on a book for any reason. The book in question is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I mentioned this one in an earlier video of books I was currently reading at the time. Well, I still have about 220 pages left and I'm ready to give up. This book is classified as epic or high fantasy. There are shard bearers and knights, and it has all the makings of a very good book, but it is just dragging so much for me. Brandon Sanderson is one of the most praised fantasy writers of today, and I can see why. He writes very well and he sets the scene. He's got these epic set pieces and they're very cool and very entertaining. These things just take so long to develop. You follow just a few characters through 1,000 pages and it goes back and forth between their timelines. It takes so long for their storylines to develop and then they become stagnant through hundreds of pages. Now, I know fantasy gets a bad rep because there are tons of books that flirt with 1,000 pages throughout their story. I have read many fantasy books that get to the point and are fantastic in far less pages. And I understand that some stories do take longer to tell, but this one just isn't coming together for me. I've read all of A Song in Ice and Fire or the Game of Thrones books, and those are epically done. They're fantastic. So many different perspectives, and there's never a stale moment for me. But this one just keeps dragging for me. That's all I can say. Meet the characters, you figure out their pasts, and you figure out what they're trying to do, and then they're just trying to solve their problem for hundreds of pages without anything happening. A pretty reputable book reviewer on Instagram called The Way of Kings a prologue for the rest of the series, and I agree that that's what it feels like, is just a setup for the rest. I don't know if I have time to read 4 more books to get to the point. I feel like I'm the odd man out because most of these books in the series and everything Brandon Sanderson has written are 4.5 stars and above. But when I've come across excellent fantasy reads like The Name of the Wind, The Obelisk Gate, and The Devils, I just can't justify spending 1,000 pages reading this when it doesn't get to the point. With that said, I'm sure I will finish it because I've committed so much time now and I gotta get it done. But I really feel like I'm struggling with this one and I don't know if I'll continue with the series after this. So what about you? What is a book that you had to put down or something you struggled with mightily to finish?